So let's get into it. We're going to start off today with our first topic, the reoccurring segment of Arena Shooter Update Watch. And I think we're kind of slowly getting a title here. It's still a working title, but anyway, the game this week is called SUPERVIVE. And fingers crossed on with me, Nick. Let's pray to the algorithm gods. Let's pray to the streaming gods right now that we don't break the stream. But browsing? All right, we got it. I think no jinxing. Okay. Well, here it is. SUPERVIVE is the site. This is the game. It is a 5v5 overhead top-down arena shooter. It has, very simply, vibes like League of Legends, where you pick a champion, you roll out with a kit, and you make purchases and level up through the game. But it's done through a format of Battle Royale. And you'll see what I mean in that in a little bit, but that's the very quick TLDR. Just right off the bat with the aesthetic, too. Here's the website. We have a very similar comic booky sort of style as we saw last week with Fragpunk. That was heavy neon, heavy cyberpunk. Nick, just the aesthetic appearance as we go into this, what do you think and feeling off of this one?
Visually pleasing. It's not a it doesn't take a seizure warning. You know what I mean? Like, compared to the last one. This one's a lot more pleasant. Like it makes more sense when you're using these colors in in cartoon art style, right? It's like the reason why the MCU like characters don't have like the most comic book accurate costumes, like super bright and stuff like that, because like it does not look good with like real life art for the most part. And so this one's like a lot more pleasing, as you can tell.
Absolutely agree with you on that. It's a lot more pleasing, and then it fits the actual stylistic nature of the game, the stylistic aesthetic of the game. You carry over the same color scheme and art style and vibe that you have actually playing the game, whereas like Fragpunk, it had a really interesting balance of like hyper realistic and then like super realistic. So like hyper meaning super neon, a lot of comic book overlays on top of like more muted real life character models and guns, etc. And I feel like that had something that was like, it's a choice. It had it working for it, but I think we both ended up agreeing on that one. That felt like it would have been a great first person shooter, maybe a multiplayer co-op story game, but seeing it as like a competitive game might be a bit rough. And we'll see how that one goes. But this one, we're talking about SUPERVIVE here. This one seems to do the same thing, but in a better way. Just straight up, simply put, this neon apocalyptic hero BR, as they self-describe here, dropping in and etc. So, there is already a creator program. There is already an alpha beta sort of happening. They lifted the NDA. And you could apply to play if you're interested by this, if any of the other stuff that you've seen. I got into it this week, and Nick, it's been a little bit hectic and busy, but I got a dual key, so I can invite a friend. So if you're looking to duo, my dude, let's go do that. And we'll have a swell old time playing this new game if, you're into it, or if you just want to hate play it, but we'll figure that out later.
I'm probably into it.
All right, so first and foremost, I think a reason why I'm into it was honestly the game reveal. When they lifted the NDA, they had a fireside chat with one of the main developers, producers of the game, and I really appreciated how they approached it. So let's do a quick watch through for this 5-minute video. I just don't want to blow out eardrums, and then you can already see the aesthetic and the vibe. Like I was saying, League of Legends / Fortnite Battle Royale. But here we go.
Hi everyone, Jessica Nam here, executive producer of SUPERVIVE, and welcome to the very first fireside chat of SUPERVIVE. We do have a lot in this 8-day playtest, but this is a special edition fireside chat because
all right, you got it.
Just announced our game. Okay, let's run down the list.
It's a lot better.
On the topic of more info about SUPERVIVE, we think our game should just stand on its own merits, even in alpha development. So, starting today, any playtester, creator, journalist, or streamer can share their opinions, create content, stream the game, write fan fiction, or make just
actually,
about
we might be SOL because it might have playtest might have ended yesterday. That means this announcement
will come with a big wave of first looks from journalists.
That would have been way more useful earlier in the week,
but have come into our playtests.
Shit
so
happens.
Go check them out to get an unfiltered take on what we're building. Okay, next topic. What the hell are we building?
What is this game? Yeah.
SUPERVIVE's high-level vision has stayed roughly the same since the start of development. Combine the strategic team play of games like League or Overwatch with the endless replayability of a battle royale, and set it all in an improvisational action sandbox where things come together in infinitely unique scenarios. Imagine a living, evolving chessboard with dozens upon dozens of players, a huge battleground filled with unique hunters, powers, and items that you can use and combine in open-ended ways to pull off game-breaking plays. Now, imagine doing that with a squad of your friends against a lobby of 9 other teams, each dreaming up their own unique strategies and running their own unique comps. The other half of this action sandbox is our free-flowing movement and combat that puts us closer to action shooters or platform fighters than traditional MOBAs. You can jump, you can glide, you can combo off of walls, you can spike enemies into the abyss, and you can move seamlessly through the world in a variety of different ways. All of these things combine into a game we think plays unlike any other, and we're already seeing our testers pull off incredibly creative, expressive plays. Sometimes it's not even about the mechanics. Sometimes it's this galaxy brain combo of powers and items that really takes over the lobby. And that is our starting point. We still have...
So I actually want to pause it right here and kind of just... there seems to be a lot of buzzwords that are immediately thrown out there where it's like, it's League of Legends, Overwatch, and Fortnite.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. The CEO, I thought I recognized him, so I just had to look it up, right? I don't know if he left Riot, but Joe Tung.
Okay,
right?
that's the person that was earlier.
Yeah, that's the CEO, right? I recognized him from the Riot Please videos. This guy's from Riot.
Oh, so we're seeing
I don't know if
we're seeing
Riot, he's still on LinkedIn.
Are we seeing I'm assuming it's got to be a departure of these developers go and start their own studios or join other studios, because that's been happening a lot in the industry, especially with Blizzard. That's a whole other beast when we can talk about with Overwatch, where the original team has been all gone. Even the original Overwatch 2 team, there's been a lot of turnover. But yeah, is that something that you feel has been happening with Riot, where we're just seeing a kind of clone? They feel like they can do it better?
No, I mean, this is the thing, right? So this could just be his passion project that he had over at Riot or something like that, because it does feel like an additional game mode. We've had cool game modes that aren't battle royale, but are more PvE style game modes that are a little bit more like this, because you never have League like that. But yeah, it was just a cool thing. So that's why it's given me a League-esque thing. I wonder who they stole from from Blizzard's Overwatch team.
Hey, Billy here. Wanted to take a quick minute to let you know a few different things. If you enjoyed the video so far, please consider and subscribing. It really helps us out, and it tells the algorithm to share it with more people. You can find the Esports Meta live every week on Twitch and YouTube. It's where we film the podcast or hang out, play games, and chat. If social media is more your vibe, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or Twitter if you use Threads. Does anybody use Threads? This is a video game community that's excited to talk about esports, so jump into the conversation. Of course, you can find more videos like this here on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button right there or there. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the show.
Could you imagine?
Right. I'm going to play this in the background while we're talking. But no, that would be real funny. And, even pulling from an Apex and whatnot. Because this has a lot of different, and that was the thing that scared me initially, because this producer just immediately goes into high complexity, Overwatch and League of Legends, a lot of diversity of heroes and characters, and then the replayability of battle royales like Fortnite. And that just sounded like you're just trying to grab everyone's attention. But the more I watched and listened to this, the more it felt kind of true. It might not be a game for everybody, but I feel like this is going to be a pretty solid competitive game as long as the developers can support it continually. Off of that initial here, Nick, would you agree, or would you have some other sentiment, or just did you pick off any other thing specifically that she said? Because at one point, here, she called it schmovement.
So that's interesting. I guess that's just a play on it just being real smooth movement throughout the whole entire map. So you're not going to be really hindered too much by movement, but there are things that are going to, boost your movement throughout the thing. I take this as it is. I think too much randomness always leads me to say that a game isn't long-term competitive. It can be short-term, and you can garner a fan base, but the more randomness you put in, the worse it gets for the competitive gameplay, and like you need to tighten it up, just like Apex has. Like Apex in the beginning versus Apex now, drastically different games. You know?
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think that's like what you got to watch out for. Like it looks super fun, right? Like it looks like this is gonna be a really cool game to play with your friends. But it's giving me a Risk of Rain 2 kind of vibe, like League of Legends mixed with like Risk of Rain 2. I don't see it as like Overwatch, unless you're going to talk about like the characters themselves, in which case like every game has characters that are unique. Like get off
especially
Overwatch
now,
thing, right?
Yeah, especially now because Overwatch has made such a mark. It's the only FPS to ever win Game of the Year back in 2016. So, like, maybe we don't see it because we haven't really gotten into the champion. But League of Legends has had champions before that. Maybe it's the role sort of situation. Maybe they're doing it more that role. But, you know, who knows until we get our hands on it. I do feel like
the D&D World of Warcraft
Holy Trinity.
Role. Yeah, like,
I'm not saying Overwatch. Yeah, I'm not saying Overwatch invented it, but I do feel like Overwatch did a really decent job at like not dignifying, but I guess just solidifying it in the FPS action shooter genre. Even like Overwatch was called a bit of a MOBA for a bit, and like it kind of is, right? But then it also isn't. Anyway, so of course a lot of people are going to anchor on it, and like how true is it is a question we can go and answer, but it does feel like there's a somewhat, we're giving this one like a moderate score, a little skepticism, but like we're both like kind of excited and eager to play it. Unlike some of the other shooter arena clones that we've seen just be money grab.
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me, you grabbing your ear just reminded me, I haven't seen them mention Battle Pass yet. I haven't seen them mention cosmetic skins either. And like, we know that
Riot, man. There's going to be a Battle Pass. Like,
we know that there's going to be a Battle Pass, of course, but it's refreshing to see them not already sneak it, leak it, whatever it might be off the bat. Because like, like the half of the arena shooters we've already looked at, we've already said meme and money is like the first two things we see with it. How much money are they going to try to make? How much of a cash grab is it going to be? Or how much are they memeing so that it gets clipped on TikTok and it becomes the game of the week for like 2 weeks and then people move on? But overall,
executive producer.
Overall, I'm excited for this. There's a lot happening. There's a lot more going on because they just lifted the NDA, meaning that everybody can talk about their experience, not having to lip seal or be sponsored content where it's like impacted or influenced by the developer. There's already a lot of information going on about the game. Wikipedia is being made. Maybe they were made previously. Now they're just being launched to a live audience. But generally speaking, you know, if you want to try your hand at this, keep an eye on playsupervive.com. Check out their YouTube. I know we're going to be doing it, or just follow us. We'll keep you posted and informed. We'll find out and gather all that information for you. But straightforward, just come to the website and click play free and pre-register for a play test. Try to get some access to it. And maybe you can play me and Nick here. Go duo against us, or maybe join us for a quad team setup, battle royale style. But you know, let us know if you're excited for it. I know I am. I'm giving this one I think a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10 so far. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. It does have some things I want to like iron out before I like full support. Say it with my full chest. All right, Nick. Any final additions before I actually push us into our next topic here?
No, man, I was looking at the staff for this game. Like, they got some people with some experience. But yeah, like it's pretty cool. Like, I was looking at the website for the game, and looking at the team for Theorycraft Games. And one of the things like they post is like the game, basically the games that the most played games that these guys have. Like, so it's like the 1,000-hour mark. Like, what games do they have 1,000 hours in? And like, you know, in a joking manner, I'm going to say some of these guys are some degenerates. Like Cy Lee, the staff game designer, over 1,000 hours of Magic the Gathering and League of Legends. My guy, absolutely degenerate.
He's cut from the same cloth, man. We should get him. We should get him on the podcast, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, like there's some, there's some cool things on there, but like some of the players, like 1,000 hours in Counter-Strike and then Stardew Valley. So
Stardew Valley is such it's a different way of being a degenerate, right? It's still
it's a solid game.
It's a great game, but it's like a much different vibe than putting 1,000 hours into League of Legends. Are you more of a masochist or less of a masochist?
You never know. Like, all right, so this one dude right here, Randy Knapp, right? Let's see, staff UI engineer, 1,000 hours in RimWorld, Project Zomboid, and then Valheim. Like, my man loves games.
Yo.
That's wild. Battlerite, Overwatch, and League of Legends for another person. Like, they got some, they play some stuff. Oxygen not included on some of these people. So, like, they like a lot of different games. But one thing is pretty common. They do like some competitive games. So, like, there's probably a lot of influence from, like, all these competitive games, like Absolutely. Dota, Overwatch, CSGO. A bunch of people were like Super Smash Brothers Melee. Like, those are some to put that up in 2024. Like, these guys are probably not to be messed with in Melee. I'll be honest. Like, I'll probably play them, but like everyday man off the streets, like I play Smash like now, but like it's pretty cool. So
we love to see it. We absolutely love to see it because it gives more grounding and more of an anchor to steer into competitive play. And that's exactly what you want to see from a game like that. Whereas, like, comparative to games we've seen in the past where we're very skeptical about how the competitiveness was going to be. Is this just a cash grab or in this for a long haul? Are they doing it for sustainability or are they looking to just make a quick million? And, maybe they know their game's a stinker and they want to just get money and then leave. But it really feels like these they come from a background and history of competitive games, and they want and believe they can make something succeed in this day and age to that degree. And that was quite the pedigree and list, which I think gives us a great segue because of